What's up, guys? This is Dr. Joseph Munoz here, and this is another episode of Coach's Corner. All right, today I want to talk about overthinking when it comes to your nutrition and your training. Many people like to overcomplicate things way more than it needs to be complicated. At the end of the day, it all boils down to being consistent and being consistent over a long period of time. So when it comes to your nutrition, what are some of the common recommendations out there? For example, there's intermittent fasting, right? If you eat for a short period of time throughout the day, it has some sort of magical effects which help you burn fat. But other people say, no, you should eat the entire day because you won't go catabolic, right? So you want to eat all day long so you have protein flowing through your blood and nutrients so you don't go catabolic, especially when trying to lose fat. There's contradiction between high carb, low carb, eating before bed, how much you should eat, when you should eat. When it comes to training, what time of day you should train. Should you train in the morning? Should you train at night? Should you train with high weight and low reps, or the other way around? Should you use low weight and high reps? Should you use dumbbells or should you use barbells? Should you do the big three like benching, squatting, and deadlifting, or should you stick to isolation style movements? It gets very confusing. There's too much advice out there, and if you try to listen to everything, then you'll get nothing accomplished. The truth is, guys, most nutrition approaches, most training approaches work as long as they have a solid scientific foundation. Okay, so when it comes to your nutrition, if you're getting the total amount of calories you need for your goals, as well as protein, you don't really have to worry about much else. Sure, there's small little effects of nutrient timing, for example. Should you eat an hour right before your workout? An hour and a half? When should you take caffeine? When should you take pre-workout? What exactly should you have as your post-workout meal? Do you need to down a protein shake right after you work out, or should you wait an hour after? What does it really all matter? It doesn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things. Again, in order to reach your goals, you need to be consistent over a long period of time. So don't overthink these small variables that won't have a large effect on your overall goals long term. Same goes for your training program. Let's say the shoulders, okay? You see a dude with huge shoulders and you ask him, hey, what do you do for your shoulders? I want big shoulders. They might say, well, I do these special exercises and they give me great results. That may be the answer they give you. Somebody else may give you a completely different answer. Someone else who also has great shoulders. The truth, the real answer is to do difficult exercises for the shoulder 2 to 3 times a week with a weight that's fairly difficult to perform. And over time, do more weight, do more repetitions, and maybe 5 to 10 years from now, you will also have some great looking shoulders, okay? There's no shortcuts, there's no magical exercises, so there's no need to spend time overthinking what you need to do. Just come up with a plan and execute it and stay consistent with that plan. Honestly, like I mentioned before, everything works as long as it has a scientific foundation and you work as well. It just takes time, so be patient, stick to your game plan, and you'll see progress over a long term. There's many people who will start one exercise program a couple weeks later, overthink a small variable, completely change their program. Maybe another couple weeks later, they realize they don't like this, they change it up again. And honestly, the constant changing of variables, whether it be in your training, whether it be in your nutrition, is what can cause people to stagnate and not make progress long term. So with your training, for example, if you're constantly changing up exercises, constantly making changes to your training program, it's hard to track whether or not you're really making progress, okay? The exercises you do not matter. What matters is whether or not you're making progress long term. With all that being said, overthinking these variables can also cause a lot of anxiety and stress, which could cause some people to not ever take any action, right? There's so many variables out there that people pay attention to. And if you try to pay attention to all of them, it can be pretty overwhelming. And some people, when they get overwhelmed, they result to not doing anything, okay? So doing something is better than doing nothing. You don't need the perfect diet. You don't need the perfect workout program. Honestly, those probably don't even exist. The perfect diet is the one that is best for you, allows you to be the most adherent to it, allows you to have your personal dietary preferences taken into account, and the perfect training program is the one that fits your schedule and also, of course, includes scientific principles like progressive overload, blah, blah, blah. But we're assuming that most programs do take those variables into account. So stop overthinking things, jump into action, be consistent over several years, and I promise you'll see progress. Just stick to it and be patient. Catch you guys next time on Coach's Corner.